All right, let's go over the lab real quick. You have a whole week to do this lab, right? Plenty of time.
Yeah,
Plenty of time. First off, I completely stole this lab from the internet.
So if we find the internet, can we get the lab?
Yes. In fact, there's a link at the bottom of the lab telling you where I got it from. As long as you cite, you're okay. Remember that.
You might get a euro, but
I meant to ask you that. Is there like a proper way to cite things?
Yes, there are a proper way to cite things, and I unfortunately do not follow them.
No, he doesn't. I can talk commercial experience.
Because I actually cited something in
Okay.
my project, but I
That'll be
didn't
fine.
think I did it right, so it doesn't matter because I cited it.
Yeah, you're.
Okay.
This is when it's not an actual formal research document. It's not people are more relaxed on the proper citation. Like this is just a lab write-up real quick. I'm not publishing this.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not getting paid, right, exactly for this lab. So, it's okay.
You kind of are. Exactly.
I'm getting paid to do all this, but I'm not getting paid to hand someone this,
Right.
It's not like someone,
No one's buying it from you.
right, exactly.
You're not being paid directly.
Right, directly. It's a little different. All right, first off, firewalls, scanning permission. You shouldn't have to scan anyone here. Please don't. Let's see. If you need Linux system, I highly recommend you virtualize your own. That'll probably help you out. While you may use Kali VM to test the iptables, be very careful not to block SSH. If you do, you will lock everyone from remoting in, and then you'll have to send me a message, and I will have to reboot the machine. So please don't. If you go on Kali to mess around with the iptables, that's fine. Just don't block SSH. All right. So instructions. What is the command to block the following subnet? I think I actually showed you real briefly on subnet, so that was a great question.
So we just have to answer questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Describe what the following rules do. Create a rule to restrict SSH. Create a rule that will block any so don't test that on Kali. Create that will block HTTP and HTTPS browsing from the virtual machine. So if you have a virtual machine, and if you don't notice that I've been a little not as precise, so you can just tell me what the virtual machine is when you come up with your command, and that's perfectly fine. Create a rule to rate limit ping traffic to 5 packets per second. This is probably something good to have when you go to competitions and you're trying to figure out what else to do. All right, let's go ahead and start putting up some throttling on pings and whatnot in case they decide to go DDoS us. See, I used the term. All right, create a rule that allows only incoming SSH connections. So it should deny everything else. Figure out a way. How do you deny everything and then only allow SSH connections? How do you just block all TCP traffic? How do you block all UDP traffic? And let's see. Let's also assume you're running a game server and you would like to secure it with iptables. List the commands you would use and explain why you chose them. Of course, that implies that your game server is running on some port. So whatever port that is, go ahead. All right. That's really it to get 100. The bonus, I thought these bonus ones were pretty cool. So SYN flood is a form of denial service in which the attacker sends a lot of requests to the target system. This is a well-known type of attack and is generally not effective against most modern networks, but it works if a server allocates resources after receiving the SYN packet, but before it has received the ACK. So if half open connections bind resources on the server, it may not be possible to take up all these resources by flooding. So you would need to how can you come up with an IP table rule to block this attack? And then port knocking was another cool one. Port knocking is where, let's say,
like a joke?
No, it's not a joke. Literally what's going on is, let's say you want to have SSH open, but you only want certain people to know about it. So by default, SSH is closed. But if you knock, aka you try to open up a connection on another port, it'll then open up SSH briefly for you to connect, and then it's going to reclose SSH right afterwards. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting idea.
Well, I'm sure a lot of the what we were talking about earlier would apply to this too, with the already open and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because once the connection is open, keep it going. but only allow new connection once the port has been knocked on, right?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting idea. So the question is, can you create a port knocking system only with IP tables that will open up port 22 when the remote host knocks on 222.333.4.4 within 30 seconds? In other words, it's got to knock on these 3 ports within 30 seconds, and then you'll open up 22 to probably for 5 seconds to do the connection, and then close. Once it sees a connection, close the port, or 5 seconds go by, close the port. So yeah, interesting security.
Yeah.
It's like a secret handshake, right? Right. Now, can an attacker defeat the port knocking system, and then how? That's awesome. But these are bonus questions, not you don't have to get it to get 100. Travis would probably be interested.
So what if you get 100 and then you do bonus questions?
Then you get over 100.
So you can get like 150 or something.
Ooh, what did I give 150 for?
130, right?
100. Yeah, 100. I like how you think.
Maybe
Yeah, I gave
200, 200.
130. I usually do 10 points per problem. It's
So
bonus
you don't want
points.
to do like 100 points per problem? So we can give us like 400 points. Right?
Well, okay, I'm willing to do that. If you don't answer the questions, I would subtract 100 points.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Everyone has to answer.
All right.
But then they're not bonus questions then.
Well, maybe.
They're bonus if you want a good grade.
All right. Everything else is the same except for it's due a week from today. Hey, look, my citation. You can click on that. It's going to look oddly familiar.
GMU? What's GMU?
Gardner Madison
Where's that located?
and
George Mason.
George Mason. No, it's George Mason. See, look.
Nice. Cool.
And then of course,
George Mason. Hey,
Port.
I'm having a problem with your lab.
I'm not stupid, man.
Hey, you remember me,
Oh yeah.
right?
Any other questions? Comments, scrims box. All right, great. Then that is all for today. Oh, you have 40 minutes. I highly recommend knocking out the IP tables one. It's not too bad. Just research the command and think about it.
Why do you have to ask
figure out
what
how to
that is
get it.
for question?
Oh yeah, let me finish recording.